NXT Vengeance Day might be done and behind us, but whoa, the implications for what happened on tonight's show, it was massive. So let's start off with the first match of the night, which was Fallon Henley versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's North American Championship. And hell yes, Stephanie Vaquer is your new Women's North American Championship champion, not championship, champion. This was the result I think everyone wanted. Fallon Henley's reign it's not lived up to what it could have been. So I think we're all very excited to see Stephanie Vaquer finally capture that belt. And as I said, that belt just it fits her so well. It feels like it's made for her. Like on a tangent, the NXT North American Championship has to be one of the prettiest belts out there because no matter who wears it, it just looks so good on everyone. Like remember when Kalani had the Women's North American Championship? It looked so good on her, and Stephanie Vaquer now too. And following that up, we had Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeat Yoshiki Inamura, I butchered that name, and Josh Briggs. And Fraxium defeated them. Like, yeah, it made sense. Like, you're not gonna put the belt on someone that's gonna go back to Japan in a little while. But, like, with every victory, I'm starting to wonder who is going to be beating Fraxium. Like, they're being built up so strong, and I know it's probably not intentional, but they're such a level above every other tag team in NXT that it just doesn't seem realistic that any current team is going to beat them anytime in the future. So it makes me wonder, like, who's it going to be? Because if it's just Hank or Tank or OTM, it's just not going to feel that special, is it? But after the match, this new faction of guys led by Dion Lennox, or maybe it's just a part of it, a bunch of Performance Center recruits, I'm not sure of all their names right now, they jumped them and beat up Fraxium, and yeah, I love this. It gives Retribution vibes. I think the storyline is probably going to be a bunch of Performance Center recruits who were like rejected or on the verge of being cut, and now they're here earning their spot. That would be cool. There's probably going to be a tag team amongst them, and maybe they will defeat Fraxium. At this point, that's probably my bet for who's going to take the belts off of them, because I really don't have a clue who is. And then on to the next match, the most shocking result of the night. Eddy Thorpe pins Trick Williams. Eddy Thorpe defeats Trick Williams. Like, what in the actual... Okay, now, genuinely, what does this do? I thought about it. I've had a lot of time to think about it. I don't see what this does. Yeah, you're pushing Eddy Thorpe, but I thought we were building towards Trick Williams versus Obafemi, and now Trick lost to Eddy Thorpe, to Eddy freaking Thorpe. I don't know, man, but it's a major victory for Eddy Thorpe. I don't get his character. I tried convincing myself that I'm into his character, and I can't buy into him. He's such a charisma vacuum. I can't convince myself to genuinely like Eddy Thorpe. I was really hoping Trick Williams can beat him and Eddy Thorpe can go on to something else. Unfortunately, it looks like Eddy Thorpe will stick with this storyline for a while, and then he'll probably be Ricky Starks' first opponent, because that just makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not so sure about this result. And up next, though, a result I really liked is Ethan Page defeating Javon Evans. Just a really hard-hitting match. I was about to say hardcore. Just a really hard-hitting match. Just two guys who absolutely dislike each other. It was a fantastic match. Probably the most unnotable match on this card. The match with the least interesting things happening in it. But it was still good. It was just a pure one-on-one match with two guys who don't like each other. I don't think this rivalry is over, because if it was, I could see Ethan Page going up against Ricky Starks, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Ethan Page and Javon Evans are going to have another match. Javon Evans is going to have his victory back, and then we're going to have a grudge match. That's how I think this is going to go. I don't think this feud is anywhere near over. In the main event in the co-main event for the Men's World Heavyweight Championship, Obafemi defeats Grayson Allen and Austin Theory. And you know what I realized in tonight's show is that the men's division is getting a lot better. You had Obafemi, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory. I believe Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are going to have a feud with each other, and that feud's going to continue here on NXT. So that's 3 high-quality superstars. Then you have Javon Evans and Ethan Page, make that 5. Trick Williams is still here in NXT for a while. We don't know when he's leaving, so that makes it 6. Ricky Starks is here, so you had another one. And then Eddy Thorpe is treated that way, but I don't see it. But if you see it, maybe he's there. And then Tony D'Angelo, Sean Spears, that whole mid-card scene, that's also there. So the men's division isn't as weak as everyone has said it is. It's not as good as the women's division, which is what's bringing it down, but it's still a very tight division. Now about this match, Obafemi won, And, I didn't really have any, hesitation that he's going to win. I knew he's going to win, but in the back of my mind, I was always thinking now, well, you're not going to do anything with Duke Williams now, so what is the story? And that kind of made me feel like maybe something could happen, but nothing did happen, thankfully. Obafemi does retain the belt, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller kept getting into each other's business here. It's very clear we're finally moving towards that feud we've been building for months. It's felt long overdue, and we're finally going to get it now. I just hope it's on NXT and not on the main roster, because I don't think on the main roster they're going to get the time or the quality story to actually make it feel personal. While on NXT, it would be one of the few actual blood feuds that you have in the men's division, so I think it would really benefit from being on NXT. And then after the match, the same Retribution type faction, they come out and they attack Obafemi. They attacked all the champions except Tony D'Angelo, so we're gonna see what happens on NXT. Well, they didn't attack Lexis King either, so I don't know, maybe my point is worthless, but maybe we should look out for what's gonna happen with Lexis King and Tony D'Angelo, because they might be next to being attacked. And hell, who knows what's gonna happen with the women? Maybe there's a few girls in the faction too that are gonna attack Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia, who we're about to get to, as Giulia defeats Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, and Bayley. I said Cora Jade was only being put in this match to take the pinfall, and I was right. I mean, anyone could see that was what's gonna happen. Cora Jade was not gonna win that belt, but still, overall, a really solid match. Probably my favorite match of the night, just from the pure star power in it. And I was always pushing for Roxanne Perez versus Bayley at WrestleMania, and then I just realized also today that's not gonna happen. They're not gonna put Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania against Bayley, because Roxanne Perez is way too new. Then I also realized Bayley's probably not gonna be on WrestleMania. There's probably not gonna be a spot for her, with how stacked the top of the women's division is on the main roster. So maybe they're just bringing her down here to give her a high quality feud at Stand and Deliver against Roxanne Perez, and that makes so much more sense. So yeah, Roxanne Perez versus Bayley is probably gonna happen at Stand and Deliver. Not gonna argue that. And then, after the match, Stephanie Vaquer comes out and she and Giulia both celebrate being new champions, and Jordynne freaking Grace comes out. Jordynne Grace then stands toe to toe with Stephanie Vaquer and Giulia, and it looks like for Stand and Deliver we might be heading towards a feud between Giulia and Jordynne Grace. Now, personally, I don't think that should happen. Jordynne Grace should be built up a bit more, because, one of these girls are going to have to take a loss. And I don't think either should take that loss yet. But then maybe she's also going to go after Stephanie Vaquer. I don't know. All I know is damn, the women's division, there's so much going on, but it's so great. If I have to give tonight's show a rating, I would give it a solid 10 out of 10. Results, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to see a new faction. I didn't expect to see Jordynne Grace. I probably should have, but that wasn't even in the back of my mind. So yeah, so much happened, and it was just overall a good show. Good matches, good results. Not good results, but unexpected results, and you need those. Overall, I'm going to say a really fantastic pay-per-view. Definitely check it out. 10 out of 10. And, maybe you should leave a subscribe too. That could help out myself a lot. And if you do subscribe, that means you're a fan of NXT. So if you're watching this video for no matter how long, you should subscribe to me. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I do appreciate it a lot. Leave a like and subscribe, comment down below. I reply to pretty much every comment. So yeah, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.